Another group that I think is important to put this out there and put this on the radar for families, that is young people who have recently had children. And that group of people, why is it important? It's important because if you cannot just tell your family members, hey, if something happened to me and my spouse, that you family member will take care of our kids. It does not work that way. You have to put that in writing in order for that to actually happen. So we certainly are honored to help young couples with young children. And what does this mean? It means that we are guiding you and you're putting in writing who you would want to be guardian of your young children, who would be in charge of your young children day to day, and who would be in charge of money. Sometimes that's one and the same, other times they are different individuals. And that's another thing that I believe that young people are surprised about. They don't realize, oh, okay, so I could have one person managing money, another person, or persons that are watching my children day to day. We help guide you because if you put this in writing, it will make it smooth. Now, of course, normal life takes its course and everything, and now your children are older. Great, they become in charge, but the good news is you always have these legal documents for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're talking about a group that maybe has the highest priority is to get their estate planning done, and that is young people that have
Hmm.
now had kids. Because you can't, if they were mom and dad were to both pass away, you can't just turn over all that wealth to a 3-year old. So what we'd be using for them would be a revocable living trust so that both mom and dad pass away. Their wealth would be held in this trust. It would be used for the benefit of their children to help them go to college, help them buy a car, help them buy a house, all of the trustees' discretion. And then in the trust, you pick an age at what age the kids would get that money outright free of trust. Starting point is age 25, but sometimes people do age 30, sometimes people do age 35.
Correct,
When
exactly.
when we're doing estate planning for people with have young kids like that, we're also
One
naming
minute.
who would be the guardian, who would be the parent to the children if both mom and dad passed away. And that is so critical. Oh my goodness. Oh my. I mean, can you imagine a young couple passed away with young kids and they didn't nominate who would be the guardian? You got all in-laws and people coming from different sides of the family saying, I'm going to raise the kids, I'm going to raise the kids. And the judge would have no idea what mom and dad had wanted to do. That's why you want to put that in writing when you're nominating a guardian and your estate planning documents. Hey, folks, my name is Tom Chris. Before the break, we were talking about young people who have young kids and the importance of them doing estate planning. And with all of my estate planning clients, I start off by asking them, what do you own? Most people say I own a home, got an IRA, life insurance, cash accounts, etc. And often I'll have young clients with young kids, and they'll say, well, I got a $10,000 life insurance policy through work. And I try and counsel them in a gentle way that if you've got young kids, you need to have some substantial life insurance in place
Exactly.
for both the mom and the dad. Even if the mom is a stay-at-home mom, great, God bless them, that's their plan. But if she were to pass away, guess what? Dad's going to have to hire somebody to take care of those kids during the day.
That's correct.
So even we need to have life insurance on both of them. The good news is that and I tell them what they should be getting is called level term life insurance. So level term means if they got, let's say you want to have life insurance for your kids till the youngest one reaches age 25. Okay. So if their youngest child is 2 years old, you want to have a policy that lasts for the next 23 years. Level term means the premium is the same every month for the next 3 years. It's not going up. It's not going down. It is not a cash value life insurance. It's just flat out just life insurance. If you happen to pass away, the life insurance is going to pay the policy.
Exactly.
And it's very expensive to raise kids. as we both know.
Very, very.
Exactly. I suppose you can Google it. What's the average cost of raising kids these days? I would probably be shocked. But you need to have a good bit of insurance. And the good news is that the cost of level term life insurance is relatively inexpensive.
Correct. Correct. Exactly. So you are so right, Tom, that we recommend for young people all the time have life insurance because the term life insurance is what would also, in addition to other things you may have, but of course, as young people, you're just starting to accumulate assets, and whether it be equity in your home or again your 401ks, you are able to receive substantial insurance. What do we mean? A half a million, $1 million policy for relatively small monthly premiums, and you know that if God forbid you passed away or you both passed away, that money then would automatically be there for the benefit for helping to raise your children, because again, as you mentioned, Tom, it is very expensive. So here's how it works, just so that to give people just a little overview and understanding. When you set up these and get this term life insurance, of course you're naming your spouse as the primary. But what is happening is then if you set up a trust, your trust becomes the alternate beneficiary. Why is this important? It's important because, as Tom mentioned earlier, you cannot name your minor child on the policy. What does that mean? It means, one, most insurance companies will not even let you put the minor on there. And even if you were able to, it would require going through probate and a judge because of the fact that they are a minor. However, what you can do is you can put the trust that you have created as the beneficiary. And what does that do? It is smooth sailing then. So it means that who is ever in charge, whoever, whatever person or persons that you put in charge of this trust, would be able to very smoothly get that money from the insurance company and now have that money available for your minor children.
As we tell people when we do their trust, is that when you sign a revocable living trust, and that's what people are using out there, it is though you built an empty vault or an empty safe, and you must then fill it up with your assets. And that's why, as you said, when you're a married couple, you're naming each other as a primary beneficiary, but you're naming your trust as a contingent beneficiary. Christy, over the years, occasionally I've had a young couple come to me and said, well, we're going to, if we both pass away, we want our kids to go, our minor young kids to go with a brother. Therefore, we name the brother as a beneficiary of our life insurance. No, no, because I
No.
mean, even in a best case scenario, let's say the brother is as honest as a day is long. Let's say you've passed away, your brother now has that $1 million in life insurance policy, $1 million in cash. What happens if he dies?
Exactly.
Where's that money going to?
That's exactly right.
You have no idea.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why it's critical to do the trust, because now you're making it, again, it's what we talked about, smooth and simple, including for the brother. And you're right, Tom, we've had people come to us where they have already done that.
Mm-hmm.
They've named their siblings or who they want to be in charge, and we do not recommend that, is what we're saying. We absolutely believe in create the trust and then have the trust as the alternate beneficiary on that life insurance.
Chrissy, I don't think we've ever talked about this particular issue, but let's say we have a young couple and they've got young kids, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and in the will they nominate who's going to be the guardian, who's going to be the parent to those children if both mom and dad pass away. Let's just say, for example, they name their sister.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is that when we talk about successor trustee, who's going to manage this money on behalf of these young children if both mom and dad pass away? Is having the sister also the successor trustee a good idea, or should it be the brother instead? So you got one person watching the kids and one person managing the money. Often it's the same person, but often it's a different person. But you got any thoughts about that?
Absolutely. I have had many clients over the years, many young people, that they have named different individuals. And why? This is what we advise when they are sharing with us and we're helping them as far as doing these documents, putting these important documents in place. When they start to share with me the personalities of the people involved, that is when I say to them, it is ultimately your decision, but I want you to know, based upon the personalities that you described to me, you may be better off having this person in charge day to day and this person in charge of the money. And then they would work together, and the one would need to give money. And oftentimes they will say, that's the way I want to do it.
That's probably a good idea, all in all. But just keep in mind that when we do this trust for the benefit of the minor children, the money in that trust can be used to help the guardian, help the
Absolutely.
sister if she needs a bigger house, if she's got a bigger
Correct.
electric bill. We know she's going to have a bigger grocery bill.
Correct.
This money's not locked up until the young kids reach age 25. Prior to age 25, that money's being spent to help the guardian pay the expenses,
Exactly.
schooling, school clothes, all of that
Exactly.
goes along. And even if you've got 3 kids and you say if we both pass away, we want our sister to take care of those kids, and the sister's got to buy a bigger house to house those
Accommodate.
3 kids. Well, that's a legitimate expense as well.
That's
But
absolutely.
One minute.
it is kind of nice to have a neutral third party helping to make those decisions rather than the sister. So
Exactly.
I think you've got a good idea there.